to Walpole United, WFC.
Good afternoon and welcome to All for United, Anthony's Odds On Show. I am joined by John Foster this afternoon. How are you, John?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Been an interesting couple of weeks. We've got to see two new play for Lionesses, so I think that's been the main thing for me.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it was an international break and two convincing wins for the Lionesses. With a little fact, the experts gave Luxembourg no chance at like 500 to 1 or something. It was 1 to 5,000 for England to win. So
wow,
they clearly know a bit. But this week will be a little bit different. I like to have the odds from the experts, but unfortunately, they are not seeming to play game. So I will have my opinion, who I reckon will be favourites in the game, and then we will discuss each game, ending with the two main games this week, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Arsenal, Man City. But before we continue with this week's fixture list, we will discuss the predictions that we made before the international break. Now, I'm quite proud. It was a really good week for me. The predictions I'll read out before. John, you went for 2 on Villa, 2-0 Man United, 3-0 Chelsea, 4-0 Man City, 1-1 Birmingham Brighton, and 3-0 Arsenal. I went for 1-1 in the Villa game, 3-1 in the Manchester United game, 4-1 in Chelsea's game against Everton, 5-0 for Man City against Spurs. It was 2 or 3-0 for me in the Birmingham Brighton game and 4-0 in the Arsenal game. Now, I correctly got 3 scorelines correct, which obviously, John, you know about. I was quite proud with.
Yeah, absolutely. You was right next to me in the stadium. You kept on
Unbelievable. I thought I was going to get a full house with at least the correct result, but a flurry of missed chances by City in the first half and some debatable officiating sprang a surprise where Spurs pulled off a shock with a 2-1 win at the Academy Stadium. Now, you had a bit of a poorer week. You got 3 correct results, but no correct score lines. But so briefly on that leaves us after 2 rounds of WSL fixtures. I have crept into the lead now with a 28-20 lead. Now, looking at them predictions that we made, obviously you had a mixed week. You got half of your predictions were for the correct team. So it was a 50-50 for you. And like the score lines for me, it was a very good week for me. But that's touching the predictions from the last game. So I do want to go on to this weekend's fixtures. And we will start with the Saturday lunchtime kickoff, which is Everton v Birmingham. Now, I reckon that the experts will have Everton as favourites here. Both teams have lost their opening 2 games. Everton a bit more, well, other than Birmingham losing to Brighton, a bit more of a a thrashing in both games, hence why they are bottom of the league.
Yeah.
But with Birmingham, they were different teams. Everton was obviously Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea, sorry. And I've got, for the head-to-head for the last 4 years, we've got Everton 3 wins. They've had 1 draw and 3 Birmingham City. Now, what's your opinion? How do you reflect that? In my opinion, I think we can tell when Birmingham's 3 wins were. It was when they had a very good side and they were challenging for Europe.
Yeah, I think this to me now is just Everton. They have to do something this week, don't they? There's a lot of pressure on them when they lost 4-0 and 4-0. I know Willie Kirk's been speaking out. If you can't win Birmingham, then you're in trouble. The manager will be in trouble as well. So yes, I agree. The experts would have Everton as favourites. Everton are at home. They would have been working on a lot over the international break, and yeah, you can't think of anything else apart from an Everton win here. It's potentially going to be one of the biggest wins of the weekend as well, scoreline wise. But are we giving our scores now, or shall we give them a bit later?
Yes, I'm going to change the format this week. I think we're going to talk about each game and give a prediction at the end of each game's chat. So I think it run a bit more smoothly. So I'll briefly touch on it with Everton. I think obviously they were very unlucky to have two of the top 2 sides, and they've had a lot of new players come in, and it's just an unfortunate thing. But I do expect Everton's results to improve. Mm-hmm. So on that note, what do you reckon the score will be?
I'm going to go for, unfortunately, because I do like to see Everton lose, I'm going to go for an Everton win 3-0.
Oh, very interesting there, John. I think this is the first time we have gone for the same scoreline.
Okay.
I have also gone for 3-0. I think Everton, they get their chances, and they had a few in the City and Chelsea games. I can't see where Birmingham's goals are going to come from. They're just a total different team from a few years ago, and that is why I can not see there being any other win than that. Although we don't always get it right. And as I mentioned quickly, we hugely sort of disrespected Spurs last week. The week before, said no chance, and that's one of them results that can happen occasionally. So you can't take anything for granted, but I think a comfortable win for Everton there.
Okay.
Now we'll move on to Brighton v Aston Villa now. They've played 3 times in the last 4 years. Brighton have won 2. And Villa have won 1. Sorry, 3 times. I was reading above. So there's not been a draw. But Brighton have started very well. And I feel with home advantage, the experts will have Brighton as favourites. The only problem sometimes is you think, blimey, Brighton are doing well. They pull out some great results. But occasionally, especially last season, a bit of inconsistency creeps in occasionally. What's your take on Brighton v Villa?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with how Villa started the season, winning Leicester in the opening game. But now I think my expectations might be too high. I might be expecting too much of them. Now, Brighton started off very well. I think I probably underestimated Brighton a little bit at the start of the season. So I think I've kind of got a level head about this one now. So I am going to say Brighton as the favourites. Even though I would like to see Aston Villa win, but I don't think they will on this one. I think, like you said, a home advantage. it's a long journey down there. You know that yourself, being from that area.
Well, it's not a long journey for me. It's a long journey going up to Lee every week. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think in Law plays part. I think even if Villa do mess up on this game, I still fancy Villa for the rest of the season to do well. But I do think maybe Brighton will just have a little bit too much for them. So I'm going to go, unfortunately, a Brighton 2-1 win.
This is the Harry Houdini act now. Did I tell you my
there's a minute behind you
for the game? Because believe it or not, I've gone for Brighton to win 2-1 as well. I just think you just don't want to lose, do you, this week? You're going through all the same score lines.
Well,
the reason why I've gone for 2-1 is home advantage. But we know Villa will create chances, and we know Villa can score. They've done it in both opening games. But I feel with the home advantage and also Brighton's confidence from a 5-0 thumping of Birmingham City, I feel like they will take that into this next game, be full of confidence. And Hope Pals doing a great job. They've got they brought some great signings in, and they've also got some great defenders like Mola Letitia, who I think Man United should be looking in to get in the not near too distant future. But that's Brighton Villa covered. We will now go on to the Spurs Reading game. Now, as you know, last time out, Spurs pulled off a great result, 2-1 against Man City. I think we all know it doesn't take you. It doesn't take. You don't need to be Stevie Wonder to know that it, quite frankly, could have been a different storyline. It was one of them games where City created chance after chance, only got the one. But the main talking point was the handball. Now, if it happened to Man United, which it has, we have had these decisions like the Katie Zellum one, I'd be fuming. But with it being City, other than the prediction, I was dead chuffed. We, as United fans, you want to see City suffer, and there's nothing better than that. But so regarding Spurs, Reading, they have played 4 times. Spurs have won once. There has been 2 draws, and Reading have won once. Now, my views are Spurs are going to be really confident going into this game. They've had 2 great results. Reading, not so much. They've had a rather tough opening 2 games, a bit like Everton. But what are your views? Can you see Reading picking up the points or a point? Or we'll get to your prediction after, but how do you see this one planning out?
Yeah, I think Reading have obviously had a tough start. We spoke a few times over the last few weeks about Reading maybe having like a slightly weaker squad this season. So, you do expect them to maybe concede a few more goals. And in the past where they might have pulled back and got that equaliser, they might not get that this season like they have done in the past. And I'm sure you said Reading have won more times than Tottenham. But I think that was at a time where maybe Reading were a lot stronger and Tottenham maybe like less experienced. I do agree that Tottenham will be coming in with their tails up, so to speak, and I do fancy them to get 8 points. But I've got them down as a draw this week. I can see your. Oh, okay, well, I'll wait for the score because I'll tell you what the score will be. But yeah, I thought Tottenham was going to finish 1 from the bottom this season. I don't think much has changed. I think, but well done to obviously get that result and them doing okay so far. But I don't think that will stay. So I think it's about time that Reading will get a point on the, get a point here. So I'm going to go for 2-2.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
I've gone for a draw also.
Yeah.
But I reckon it'll be a 1-1 draw. I just think, yeah, they do create their chances and that, and they'll both have chances. But I don't feel it'll be as high scoring draw as you are. But I agree with you. I think Reading can get a point against Spurs. It's one of these ones where the Spurs fans are going to be confident and they're going to have their heads up and their tails up, the players. But we know around these sort of teams, you can have a brilliant result one week and then you can be crashed back down to earth. Now, I wouldn't know who the favourites would be for this game from the experts. But if they were basing it on the opening two game, it's a difficult one because obviously Spurs beat City, and it's home. So I think Spurs probably would have been slight favourites.
Yeah.
But the draw, I reckon, would be the best odds from the experts. But it's something that I'm hoping the experts improve because, like we've discussed, you can get the odds from the experts from lower than Conference South. So I think in the women's game, something definitely needs to be done because even the main channel from Sky, you'd think they'd be on it, but unfortunately they're not at the moment. Yeah. But moving on to West Ham Leicester now. This is an interesting one. They've not played each other, so it's going to be the first time that they'll be playing each other. How do you think this one will go?
I think this is going to be one of the tightest ones to predict over the weekend. It could go either way. It really could. But I am going to say a win. I'm not going to say it's going to be a draw because that to me is kind of like sitting on the fence. It's the easy option for me. So I will say who the winner is going to be. Not overly impressed with Leicester in the first couple of games, losing to Villa, losing to us quite convincingly. I do think Leicester's time will come. But whether or not it'll come this week, I'm not too sure with West Ham being at home. West Ham are doing fairly well. I know the West Ham fans are quite happy with what they've seen so far. But they're expecting big things. So going off from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, I'm going to go for a West Ham 2-1 win.
Well, interesting how you say that because I've reversed the result. I think it's only a matter of time before Leicester's team clicks and the goals do come in. Now, I don't know who the West Ham fans you've been speaking to, but they have struggled to score goals at home. And until the commentators on Sky cursed it about 10 seconds later, they hadn't scored a goal for 600 minutes. So they do have that mental barrier block that I feel like West Ham need to break down. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before Leicester click because we know they've got some great players in Jess Sigsworth, Charlie Devlin, Paul, can't remember her first name. This is where we need the Leicester fan club, Craney and Gareth. So, and then they have got a few people like Abby McManus. You can see she can score from a corner and that. So I've gone for 2-1 Leicester, but I wouldn't know who the experts would have. It would be a hard one without me having the odds, as I've mentioned. That is a tough one. Now, that's that one done. We will move on to Arsenal Man City. Now, I've got a question on this one. Before the season started, Arsenal were 3rd, favourites to win the Super League. They have beaten Chelsea already, a very good Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
They're also at home again. And with a ever-growing injury list for Man City, how do you think this one will go? Sorry, John, I'm just trying to get City's injury list up quickly.
Yeah, you have to look at the injury list, and I'll just have a quick chat about this one.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I thoroughly agree. I think Arsenal have got off to a fantastic start, and well done to them. They were probably third favourites. Yeah, they were third favourites, weren't they, at the start of the season? I still wouldn't put them as first favourites, as the favourites just yet. I think it's very hard to say Chelsea aren't the favourites just because of one defeat in the opening game. But Arsenal have definitely put a marker there, and rightly so. City, on the other hand, we knew they was going to have a bit of difficulty with the amount of injuries, the lack of defenders. We know that they could always score a goal, which is obviously something that's going to hold them in good stead. I won't give my prediction just yet, but I am very keen on seeing what Arsenal are actually going to achieve, because they might leapfrog City, especially with Tobin Heath now starting games as well. So it shouldn't be a matter of it's going to be a matter of time where Arsenal could potentially be the best that they've been for quite a few seasons.
Yeah, definitely, John. You make some great points there. What I was saying was, before all this, I probably would have had City as slight favourites, and I think the experts would have. But with City's growing injury list, currently 10 players out at the moment. I'm going to name them: Ellie Roebuck, Karen Bardsley, Lucy Bronze, Esme Morgan, Steph Horton, Kira Walsh, Caroline Weir, Chloe Kelly, Hayley Russo, and after the international break this weekend, Alex Greenwood joins that list. Now, most of them get in the starting lineup for City, other than Karen Bardsley, who is a very experienced goalkeeper, and it would be useful to have her at the moment, but they have their third choice keeper. But the others, other than maybe Esme Morgan, they're all pretty much people that start. So with that lose against Spurs and the chances they missed and the injury list they've got, and with Arsenal having all their options, I feel like this is definitely Arsenal's for the taking. Also, with it being at home and having the crowd behind, they'll have confidence, and they don't just, when they're playing someone like Reading in that, they don't just scrape like a 2-0 win. It's normally 4s and 5s, as we saw 2 weeks ago. But I am going to ask for your prediction now. What do you reckon the scoreline will be in the Arsenal-Man City game?
I do agree. I think the experts would have Arsenal down as favourites, and rightly so. They just got no defenders, have they? And with Alex Greenwood recently going out, who's been playing centre back, I find them going to be very fragile. You got Nikita Paris scoring for England, coming in for, playing for Arsenal. Their best means on form. You wouldn't want to go up against either of those two, and Miedemar. I'm definitely going to go for an Arsenal win. I'm just wondering. I don't even know if City will score on this one, because I just think that Arsenal know that if they can just keep it tight to the back, they'll create chances and they'll score. So I might even go for a clean sheet. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Arsenal.
That's cool, John. That's very interesting. Before I say my prediction, in 4 years, they've played 11 times in League and Cup. There's never been a draw.
Okay.
Arsenal have won 5, City have won 6. Now, I'm with you on this, John. I think Arsenal will make that a 6 win, so they will then be level with City on head-to-head. But where I've gone different to you, John, the amount of injuries they have, City are always going to create chances. And this is why I think they will score, but I think Arsenal are going to score one more than that. So I've gone for 3-1. I just think the talent Arsenal have up front and in midfield, and with the injury problems City have, I generally think they'll score more than 2. But I just think City can hit them on the counter and break like that. And I think City will score. So I've gone for 3-1. Now to our game on the weekend, Manchester United, Chelsea, the big one. Now, well, the big one before the Sky Sports one. So there's 2 big games on Sunday. You could say it was like a Super Sunday in the women's game.
Massive, isn't it? It's a massive weekend.
Yeah. It's a shame they don't do it like the men's game where they have a Super Sunday where we can go down the pub. But, what I am going to ask you now, I think Chelsea will have this be slight favourites through the experts slightly. I just think this is due to their squad. We are yet to beat Chelsea as well. We had that 1 draw opening game of last season, but Chelsea have won 3 times. Now, they have all been close encounters. In one or two, one of them, there was another dodgy decision, you could say, but we've never seemed to be able to get over the line with them. Now, what I am going to ask you, John, if Man United are going to get a positive result, how do you think they need to set up? And who, even though Chelsea have got a squad full of quality, who do you think the one player Man United need to stop more than any of their players to stop them from ticking into full gear?
We had Chloe on the show on Monday. Chloe's a Chelsea fan and a massive
I've met Chloe. I went to a Lewis game with her and we were in the beach shed. This was pre-COVID, so it's been a long time. So nearly 2 years. But yeah, she seemed lovely. But what was she saying then?
She's a massive Kirby fan, as I think a lot of social media know, and I agree that's a player that we need to watch out for. Of course, Chelsea's got loads of attacking options. We know that, and if you spend too much time on Kirby, then it opens up potentially Pernilla Harder, Sam Kerr, whoever. I'm not saying the way that we should go out and do this, because obviously we got proper experts who do this, but for me, I think that this could be the first time where we're kind of out battled in midfield. And when I say out battled, I mean like against maybe better quality opposition. So I think we should play our best players, but try and keep it narrow as possible. So to keep it narrow as possible, I would be looking at playing that false 9 again. Now, a lot of people aren't keen on the false 9. I'm not keen on the false 9, but on this occasion, if we do play a false 9, it allows us to almost play like a 4-4-2 diamond, with Tooney, even though she's like the number 9 role, she could be like an extra midfielder at times when we lose the ball. So to me, I think we need to crowd out that midfield and try and get that extra midfielder in the middle of the park. Now, that means that there won't be much, that means there'll be a bit more space on the wings. So when we do transition from defence into attack, we can get the long balls over the top for Galton or Hansen, or if one of those aren't playing, possibly Russo on the wing. And also we'll then be looking at making sure that the fullbacks push up as well. So for me, it's going to be massively tough. If we do play Jackie, Katie Zellum and Bo Rees in the midfield 3, then they are going to be up against it. So that's why I just like to see Tooney kind of tuck in as well. It's going to be very defensive when we haven't got the ball. But when we have got the ball, let's look and get them on the counter-attack really quickly, because we know Tooney's on fire. Nothing to do with the song, but we know Tooney's on fire at the moment in the league and with Lionesses. Hansen's doing really well as well. And we know Galton, if you're a defender, you don't want to come up against Galton running at you or trying to catch her. So to me, I'm looking at that kind of system, and then that will hopefully kind of limit Fran Kirby's kind of possession of the ball as well.
Yeah, no, you make some interesting points there. I'm like you, John. I'm not really a fan of the false nine. I don't think it helps Tooney being a false nine. But Tooney's one of these players who will do what she has to do for the club. Man United is in her DNA. It'll be interesting to see how he lines up. Do you reckon? Obviously, Martha Thomas isn't a false nine, but do you reckon she could do the job of tracking back into midfield, almost like a Wayne Rooney sort of how he used to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. For what I've seen of her, very impressive. And when she came on at Leicester and scored within a few minutes, fantastic. And that's probably where she won me over right away. And Skinner made that substitution. And I think it was a very clever substitution that he got right. We needed that. So I keep on nicking Benny's words and quotes, but a fox in the box. And I really believe that she was like that against Leicester. But I think White suddenly changed it now. So Skinner's done this false nine with Tooney, for the first two games. I wouldn't want to lose Tooney out the actual starting 11. So then all of a sudden, you're going to bring in Martha Thomas. And then obviously where you're going to put Tooney, you can't take Hanson out. You can possibly put Hanson on the left and put Tooney on the right. But then all of a sudden, you're changing a lot of things there. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But if you're happy to make changes, then by all means, Martha Thomas can come in and a lot of things can happen with Tooney. But if you're just looking at keeping it very similar to what you've done in the first two games, then I don't think you'll see too much difference from defensive duties, at least, changing that personnel. So, and also as a game changer, Martha Thomas could come on as a sub and get that goal, like in the 60th minute. Whereas I'd like Tooney to be on his pitch as much as possible. So for me, Martha Thomas can do the job, absolutely. But I think in this false nine kind of role, and keep it with Tooney.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because it's a good headache for Mark Skinner to have with all these options in midfield and up front. And I'm not sure if would he have had Tooney as a false nine if Martha Thomas and Russo were a bit more,
I agree.
Especially Russo with nursing her back, because we don't want to have her on the sideline for most of the season again. So
it would be good to see her come back in this game. We could be surprised because she's been a substitute for quite a few games now. She's not started yet. We've had another 2 weeks now with this international break. Is she ready yet? But also the big question there is now we've seen Russo on the wings quite a bit. So if she's out wide, does that mean Tooney or Martha Thomas or be the number 9? And if that's the case, would you want Russo out wide or would you rather keep Hanson and Galton? That's something to consider as well. So even when Russo does come back, we don't exactly know where she's going to be playing on the pitch.
Yeah, no, exactly, John. That is correct. Who would you see as the one likely to give way if he makes any changes in midfield? It's so hard because you've got Katie and you've got Lucy, and you've got Barisa, and you've also got Jackie, which I'm going to give Jackie some orange to wear underneath her shirt.
Brilliant goal, fantastic goal that she scored for the Netherlands, and
she does it regularly. So we need to have her wearing something orange. So it may have to happen, but it wouldn't be great if she could do it against her former club. 90th minute into the end we're facing. We call it our Stretford end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's tough. I think if we do have the three midfielders, I think he'll play Jackie because Jackie's on form, and he went with her on the last game, I believe, against Leicester. I'd like to see Balvisa in there because we haven't really seen much of Jackie and Balvisa play together just yet. So I'd probably go with that. And I think it's very hard to take a captain edge at the moment because she's not doing too much wrong. And also, we might not get that many opportunities to get a shot on goal. So when you've got Katie Zellem on free kicks, you're confident. I'm confident when she puts that ball down, and I'm thinking she can get a goal here. So for me, I'm probably leaning towards those three in midfield. That means Tooney has to play as a false nine, and then it's probably going to be Galton and Hansen if Russo comes out. Sorry, if Russo comes back, or Martha Thomas starts, then I think it might be Galton, the one that has to make way at the moment, just because she's not on the form that she can do. Yeah, that she can be on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Lucy Stan will suffer if
it's a shame because she's done really well.
Which is saying, yeah, exactly. She's doing very well. But like I said, it is a good headache for Mark to have, and I'd quite happily. They were all injury free, and you could just sort of rotate for different oppositions. But you want to have your best team out, and obviously he'll be working on it with them now. It's been an international break, so that's another factor that could come into it with how they respond after international breaks. Tooney, which we like to see, had a lot of minutes for England, so that could play a factor as well. But regarding the scoreline, how do you see this one playing out?
This could go anyway. This could be the champions of England against a very new Man United team with a load of
ex-Chelsea players to prove themselves as well. The likes of Rundell, Maria. I can't even pronounce her name.
Let's just call her Thor. But I think this could go either way. You could look at it and think, okay, Chelsea has got the best squad. They are the champions for a reason, so they could win. You could look at it the other way and think, look, it's only a matter of time before United get a win against Chelsea. We're on form. We're looking very strong at the moment. And we have got probably one of the most informed players in the league in Tooney, providing she's fully fit. And then, as you say, Thor and Mannion playing very well at the back. Ona and Blundell playing very well. We've got a very good midfield, technically good, with Jackie and Balvisa. Kate's on form. Hansen and Galt. We got a very good mix as well. So you can say that we could quite easily scrape a win as well, especially being at home. And Chelsea have never played United under Mark Skinner as well. So, you could see Chelsea winning, you could see United winning. And then because of this reason, you could say it could easily be a draw as well. So, on the Thursday show, Natalie went for a 2-1 United win, and she kind of took the words out of my mouth. Because I thought that maybe we would be up against it, and there will be times, 10, 20, 30-minute periods where, we'll be like up against it and lucky to not concede. So I do think even if we did get a winner, we might scrape a winner. But because of that, I'm leaning more towards a draw. So I'm going to go for 2-2.
2-2. Now that would be a good result. As we discussed in a previous show, I'm being you could say it's being a realistic, or you could say it's just being negative. But my aim is to predict the correct result. Now, you are right. Football is football. United have not got injuries other than Millie, which we hope she makes a quick recovery and get back to playing her best, which was the only blotch at Leicester. But then you look at the quality Chelsea have, and both teams are going to have chances, but it's who takes their chances. Now, sorry, Man United have been guilty a number of times, and especially you saw at the Leicester game, the amount of chances we had. We could have won 6-7-1. Now, again, against teams like the likes of Chelsea, you're not going to get that many chances. So when you do get them chances, you need to put them away. So we need to have someone who's going to put them in away, hopefully be in the right position. I think this is a great thing that we have Martha Thomas, because I feel like she's got a bit more of the striker's instinct, where when we play a false nine, and last year a lot of the time there never ever seemed to be a player gambling, whereas I think Martha Thomas would. You see the likes of Ronaldo, he's always gambling because he knows the keeper compartment, and I think that's what United have been lacking. So hopefully with all the options, we will get chances through gambling on the keeper fumbling it. But I know a lot of fans are like, oh, you're not a proper United fan and that, and are you sure he's a United fan? But I am going to, it's going to be tight, but I've gone for Chelsea to win 2-1. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is me putting 2-1, like the curse of the commentator, like the other day when I was in the West Ham stand and West Ham got that penalty, and I was having to be like, yeah, get in, thinking deep down, God's sake. And I went to the West Ham fans, you're right, De Gea's not saved the penalty, hoping that would put the curse on. And when he did miss it, I was like, oh God, that curse won, which was good. And I did like a little jig in front of me, not trying to get carried away, which was great. But I just feel Chelsea 2-1, but like you said, it can go either way, and we will see.
We talk a lot about the 12th player, and we're lucky because at this game at LSV, no one shouts louder than you in the stadium, Anthony, and I do really believe that.
Well,
you're up there, and I do really believe that if it is 2-1,
I'm not louder than Natalie. No one's louder than Natalie. She's just got that natural foghorn.
I think it's a
noise that never goes. Whereas my voice at Leicester, I thought, I've gone too early here. I thought I'm going to be at the game all going, Tony's on fire. But luckily, it managed to come back after 10 minutes. So I think what I need to do is, when we get into Lee, I need to have a bottle of water to keep my throat.
It helps, it does.
Wet. So I think that's going to have to be the case this week. Sorry, what were you saying before I rudely interrupted you?
No, I was just going on that. I think, look, if it is 2-1 with 10 minutes to go, we really need to get behind the team, because we know that we can spur them on as much as we possibly can, and they missed that last season. So if it is 2-1, I want to be hearing your voice. I don't want you sitting back thinking I want to win this. I want to win this prediction. No, I
don't want to win this prediction. It's just a prediction that if it comes in, but I'm not going to be like, I'm proud that I got 20 points because I got the Chelsea score right and the other one's right. No, but before we wrap things up this afternoon, I want to ask you one more question on Chelsea Man United. Does Lauren James make an impact? Does she even make the match day squad?
Yeah, I think she'll make the squad this time. But I do think Emma Hayes is professional enough to know that she won't just put her on for the sake of it. She definitely won't be doing it for sentimentality, anything like that. She'll bring her on if she genuinely thinks there's a place for her, if the game suits her or not. I think it'd be good to kind of see her on the pitch so we can kind of give her a bit of a send-off, because we never really got a chance to. I know a few of the fans, we did go down and say goodbye to LJ. But obviously, it's a sensitive one, isn't it? It really is.
It is, yeah.
And would she celebrate if she scored? If she scored the winner, she'd probably celebrate. But if it was, 2-1 to 3-1, would she celebrate? They'd probably hug her teammates, but I don't think she'd give banter as such. But
I'd like to think she'd have a bit more respect than that, and like have like a sort of Jesse Lingard celebration.
Yeah.
We gave her a chance, and at the end of the day, she did want to go. As we discussed previously, I'm not sure if it's going to hamper. Having a manager like Emma Hayes is going to be great for her, but I'm not sure how much it's going to hamper her development. So I don't want to jinx things, but I personally could see her being in the matchday squad. But I don't. I think with all their quality they've got, I don't see her getting any minutes. I just think if she's not been in any squads yet, has she? If I remember correctly, but if she's not in the squad, it wouldn't surprise me if she was there in person, though, just because of the old connections and that. And I'm sure Nat would love that. But if that happens, Nat, and she is in the matchday squad, no running and getting her shirt. We don't want you doing a Craney and a Gareth. But that wraps it up for this afternoon. Thanks for joining me, John. Don't forget to put your predictions in the comments. And what shows have you got lined up for the rest of the week, John?
So obviously Friday midday now. So we've got the Friday Night Fan Forum a little bit later at 7 o'clock with me, Andy, and a few others. So that's going to be an exciting one. We've got Matt and Ben on the Saturday Night Live, which again, that's always a bit of a different kind of show, a lot more relaxed, a bit more banter on there, but they do talk about some real interesting issues as well. But more importantly, Sunday, it's match day, so we get some match content out there. I'll be doing some fan cams. Anthony, if you're available, you can be doing the fan cams as well after the game, and just bringing you some immediate reaction, literally within an hour or so of the game finishing. So plenty of things to look forward to this week, and let's just hope that we can get some points on the board against Chelsea.
That's great. Thanks, John. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to follow either me or John on Twitter, then our Twitter names are on the screen. But that'll be it all for now. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you like the show. Take care, John.
Thank you, mate. See you soon.
No worries. Will do.